So that was Sandra Sawyer of Lake Taylor with us after the win over Pulaski County with the coach Ed Young. I am Matt Hatfield here on ESPN Radio 94.1's High School Sports Talk. We're getting set for some NFHS Network broadcast action. We got Class 1, Class 2 title games coming up beginning this morning here with the Surrey girls and Perry McClure, Ed. But man, oh man, Sandra Sawyer keeps winning championships, and her girls make it look easy. And I think, though, we hit on something at the end there, that the community support that she's getting there and just the family support, Lake Taylor football, girls basketball, it's all one big happy family for them over there, and it's continuing to breed success.
You think about when you say Lake Taylor girls basketball, they just dominate. They just crush your will.
Which is what the football team does.
Yeah, they just crush your will. They just come at you with everybody. This year was a tough year for her. You heard it in the interview, the injuries. She got a little worried. A good word from Hank to kind of put her at ease. And then another word from her about Hank. You got to do some dishes, more dishes. Cut the grass, sweep the floor. Hey, you only got 2 titles, Hank. Pick it up. Come on, pick it up. Sandra got 4. You got to pick it up. But she just does an excellent job. Those girls respond. And that's something when you can lose a stud like Quinnery and almost not even miss a beat. That means you got some people that are focused and staying there and doing the work.
As we look at some of the games we had, besides the Lake Taylor girls capturing a championship, the Phoebus, the only defeat for the 7-5-7 thus far. We're going to see what Surrey girls and Surrey boys do today and react to that somewhat next week. But at a tough ball game for them, Coach James Daniel doing a fine job there after losing Antoine Miles to Virginia State, their best guard, and they got back to that point, beating John Marshall, which felt like a state championship game. You got to see up close and personal. Some people were, and you got to watch the replays. I was on the call with Andy Hayes for this with Northside, and people from the 7-5-7 very critical of the calls. 3 of them in particular. There was one where Kyrie Temple took it on the break. Looked like an and one to me. They didn't call it. He ended up having to shoot 2 free throws. Would have made it 58-57 instead of 58-56. There was a charge call. Casey Draper got in front of it, drew it. To me, it's a bang-bang tough call either way. And people thought that Temple didn't foul Draper at the end on the 2 free throws. Your thoughts after watching those plays on the replays, and I'll give you my little mini rant, if you will.
It should have been an and one. I think he was in the act of shooting.
I totally concur.
That one is the easiest for me.
Doesn't change the outcome to me, though. The game.
Just seconds later, on a steal, Temple goes in. The youngster had been falling on the ground. He got up quick enough. He knew what he was trying to do. Gave Temple a little bit of an angle. Came in. You watch it. It's bang bang. It's a traditional bang bang play, and a charge block is a bang bang call. Now there are rules to what what a charge is. By technicality, the rule the kid was set. He was there. You are allowed to move laterally once you have established set position. Offense comes into you, that's a charge. So I can kind of live with that. And the last one, I thought it was a foul. 50-50 on it. That close of a situation, maybe as a referee, I swallow my whistle. Unless it's just blatant. I don't think it was blatant. But your condition as a referee to watch the game, make calls as you see them. You don't change the book around for your own interpretation. You make calls. Now, there's some preventive officiating. There's some unwritten rules about, hey, unless it's blood being let out, at the end of a game, tie score, or advantage, disadvantage, we're going to let the players make the decision. I understand that. Being in the game, I understand what that all means. So, and as far as the fans getting upset, I don't know why, but we go there quickly. And remember, these officials in the state level, the officials are not from either of the 2 teams' area. They are completely different. So maybe if you get a Tidewater team, Hampton Roads team against a Richmond team, those officials are coming from out west or up north. It's not from either of those 2 groups. So to stop insinuating people are cheating. I don't think that's what it is.
Well, and my thing, too, on this is, and I'm not telling the Phoebus fan, because the Phoebus fan has some right to be a little upset, but the 757 fan, there's a lot of them out there that are going on the Twitter and the Facebook. The Twitter and the Twitter. But here's my thing, and I've been accused of being a 757 homer at times, even though I think that's totally preposterous. I cover the whole state. Look, pipe down. Just pipe down, because if you want them to get the championship and take it away from Northside, then you can't have your cake and eat it too. Then you got to give Morey's up because of that Clarence Rupert call, which was, I'm sorry here, don't mean this to be mean, but that was a bad call. That was a bad call, Ed. So you can't have it both ways. It happens. That one actually was at the end of the game. These were in the last minutes. And the thing that bothered me, as great as Phoebus is, And I'm not trying to be critical of any individual kid. It's happened collectively. They were losing their emotions, letting their composure. They lost it. They had an 11-point lead. You can't dwell on those plays. You got to turn around and play the next play. And now at the end of a game, 2 seconds to go, it's still different when it's a bang bang and a foul's called there. But there were still plays that led up to the next plays, and they didn't respond the right way. Northside did, and as both coaches, James Daniel and Billy Pope, said afterwards, that game could have gone the other way. Phoebus could have easily won that championship, just like John Marshall could have beat them the other night in the game you saw.
Yeah, and I'm listening to words you're saying, and I have to agree with you. It is emotional. Sometimes you get a load of kids, and they are emotional. You don't think they are, especially young guys, because we're not supposed to know how to use emotion. But when there's a lot on the line, like a state championship, you're going to get emotional. And you're right. We tell our kids all the time as coaches, keep your composures, keep your focus. There's nothing you can do about calls. Referees aren't going to just say, hey, you're all a little upset. We're sorry. We're going to reverse the call. It's not going to happen. You can't listen to the people in the stands and they complain, so you figure, okay, I'm going to start complaining with them. You've got to do what's next. You just, okay, we got to go play D, or, okay, we're going to offense. They didn't call the charge. Okay, well, now we got to go to, you got to just keep your composure. I know it's easier said than done, but that's part of playing sports. That's part of being able to move on. You've got to show maturity when you're out on the floor. I know there's 16, 17, 18-year-old kids. I hear that all the time. But as a coach, we preach self-discipline. We preach holding your focus. That's why a lot of times when we get a little crazy in practice, I stop, blow the whistle, stop it, and they get a little bit of a conditioning drill, let's say, to let them refocus as to why we're doing some line touches or rim touches, because you just lost your head, and the situation of practice doesn't matter. But you do this in a game, it could cost you the game, and then you can have that repercussion of the next game maybe. So you really got to just keep your composure. And yes, I've been one guy to get so upset with officiating and whatever, but I've tried, and I think I've matured over the years. I don't blame things on the referees. I try to know who's reffing games, so I get an idea how it's going to be called, so I know how we can play and kind of what we can maybe get away with. But some of the average fans are just a little ridiculous. They want to blame things so quick, and I think you need to pull away from that.
9 players on the varsity roster that were either freshmen, sophomores, or juniors are back for Phoebus. They do lose that entire starting front line with the 6'8" Adrian Payton, the 6'6" big body Detion Leach, and the 6'5.5", 6'6" Kyrie Temple. 2 things. 1, you think Phoebus is glad John Marshall moves down to Class 2 next year? And 2, did you see, even though he was his own worst enemy at times, did you see a better open court player this year anywhere than Kyrie Temple? Boy, he is something else in open court, isn't he?
Well, he is. He's a highlight film. So he's going to do something with the ball. He's not really a handler, but when he's focused on getting to the rim, he's getting to the rim. As far as him losing them bigs, boy, in high school, you got 1 big, you're blessed. 2 bigs, you're beyond blessed. He had 3, and they're all talented. They're all big-time highlight film guys, so to speak. But, James Daniels had some smaller teams, and he's been just as successful with them in the past. And they've got a good crop coming back. You don't know maybe who pops in. You don't know what JV kid steps up. Their athleticism is off the charts. So, again, when you start talking about in 3 at preseason, I think you'll put Phoebus down. You made a statement that made me kind of throw my head back. Marshall goes down to 2.
They go down to 2.
Wow. I mean, it's
tough love for Martinsville and Gate City and Radford and them,
some of those teams, when they see Marshall show up, are going to think they're in the twilight zone.
They're going to be in the toilet. We're not going to tell you what they're going to be doing in the
I'll
toilet.
tell you right now, Marshall can win Division 6. That's how good it is.
Well, they beat the Class 6 champion Lansdowne.
Yeah, they can go up to 6 and win. And again, for people out there trying to understand this, you go based on your classification, number of students in the school. And I have no issue with that. You can't just pick and choose certain programs in a school and say, well, you be 6, you be 2, you be 5. No, they all have to go. But Marshall at 2, wow.
You know who's going to make a run next year out of Class 3 that nobody talked about this year, and they got hot late, and they're used to making runs, and I'm talking about Norcom.
Oh, yeah, we forget what. We talk about all
made the
these
state
championships.
quarters.
We talk about all these championships. Let's not forget Leon Goolsby is usually hoisting on right now.
Yeah, he's got, 6 of them, and a couple more if you include him as assistant coach. So they don't have a stud. They don't have a Dorian Finney-Smith, a Travis Fields, one of those marquee names, but watch out for them next year. They're going to be there.
Yeah, I think so. I think their athleticism keeps you there all the time, too.
One more segment here on High School Sports Talk presented by VirginiaPreps.com as we talk state basketball tournament action with you and a big football coaching vacancy that will be filled on Monday. That's coming your way
Scoops?
next.
We got scoops?
We got scoops.
And it ain't ice cream either.
It's ESPN Radio 94.1.